Option number 3 is what I took, and I would recommend for everyone if I flew to Nairobi from Entebbe, and then from Nairobi I went to Wilson Airport and I flew from Nairobi to Diani. Why I recommend this option is because the views you will have overhead of Diani when you're landing in Diani, it is breathtaking. It is an experience that no one can take away from you. Everything comes to life like, oh my God, this is what I was seeing on Google and I'm seeing it in real life now. It's really beautiful and I love that experience. So I'd recommend the flying option. If you go through a broker, you have understood, haven't you? Yeah, activities are cheaper directly. I've experienced this in Egypt, I've experienced this in Zanzibar, and I experienced it in Diani. Always cheaper to go directly to a fish mouth. Anyways, happy new year guys, happy new 2026. Welcome to a gorgeous new chapter of 12 months, 365 days to write new stories, make new memories, but most importantly, acquire new knowledge, go to new levels in terms of our crafts and skills and life experiences. I like that quote that talks about, imagine there's so many people you're yet to meet, so many places you're yet to visit, so many things you are yet to experience, and therefore so many videos you are yet to watch on this channel. So welcome on this episode of 2026, where we are reintroducing our chapter on travel. If you're an audio on this channel, you know that I love travel, and it was one of the first things that I ever talked about on this channel. And I recently took a very gorgeous 5 days of work on a trip to Diani, where I had Christmas. And in this video, I am bringing for you my takeaways from that trip, which I have categorized this into 5 parts. And so the first thing, which is about transport options, just taking you through the different ways you can go from Uganda to Diani, how to arrive there. Option number 1 is that you can fly directly from Entebbe to Mombasa. And then when you get to Mombasa, you take either a taxi or you do a hotel transfer. You know those hotels that come with a package for a cab that picks you up at the airport? You can do one of those that will pick you up from the airport in Mombasa and take you to your hotel, which is in Diani or Airbnb, wherever you choose to stay. That is option number 1. Option number 2 is you can fly from Entebbe to Nairobi. This is the option that is popular with so many people. Entebbe to Nairobi, and then you take the SGR train to Mombasa. Then again, from Mombasa, you either have to take a taxi or the hotel transfer option we talked about to your hotel stroke to Diani. Option number 3 is what I took, and I would recommend for everyone if I flew to Nairobi from Entebbe, and then from Nairobi, I went to Wilson Airport and I flew from Nairobi to Diani. Why I recommend this option is because the views you will have overhead of Diani when you're landing in Diani, it is breathtaking. It is an experience that no one can take away from you. You know, when you're booking the trip, I don't know about you guys, but every time I want to go to a place, I go and check it out online, check out pictures on booking.com. When you are checking out pictures of these places, you see these nice overhead aerial shots of the coastal line and like the beach, like the entire beach, stretch of the beach. And it looks so gorgeous. It almost looks like, is this real in life? When you fly to Diani, that overhead view, everything comes to life like, oh my God, this is what I was seeing on Google and I'm seeing it in real life now. It's really beautiful and I love that experience. So I'd recommend the flying option. And then option number 4 that is so famous on TikTok with many Ugandan travel creators is taking a bus. And I think the most popular bus is Mashpoa. Taking the bus from Kampala to Nairobi, and then taking the SGR train from Nairobi to Mombasa, and then from there I still take a taxi. I don't know, it's a popular option because it saves money. I mean, a bus to Nairobi is about $30 to $40. However, the hustle, however, there's also adventure there, but I would prefer the views over that. And those are the 4 options. I hope you choose whichever works for you. And then in terms of transport costs, my takeaways are about 3. One is that timing is everything. Timing in terms of booking your travel makes a very huge difference. I booked my flights really last minute, and because of that, for example, imagine a flight from Entebbe to Nairobi cost me $592, and in any normal timing, if I'd booked like let's say 3 weeks earlier or 4 weeks earlier, this could have been a flight that is about $300 to $400 in normal time booking. But remember, it is peak time. It is holiday time. Everyone is booking for holidays, so there's a lot of traffic at the airports. Therefore, it just makes sense for the airlines to also hike their prices. So timing is everything when you're booking transport for your travel to Diani or for holidays or to whatever destination. Even for the SGR option, which is very cheap and affordable, the tickets had also gone high, but also there was no availability in the SGR between 23rd of December all the way to 3rd January. The SGR was completely booked out, both from Nairobi to Mombasa and from Mombasa to Nairobi. It was booked out between 23rd and 3rd January. You could not find a spot. So timing is everything when you're booking for your travel. Secondly, direct flights might be cheaper because, for example, a flight from Entebbe to Nairobi was $592 during the Christmas period. However, a flight from Entebbe to Mombasa was actually just a difference of $14. It was $606. So it seems a bit cheaper to fly directly from Entebbe to Mombasa. But the catch is that when you get to Mombasa, you need to get a taxi or a cab from the airport to Diani, which is almost an hour's drive. So while it's not very expensive, it's not more than $20 really. It's between $10 to $15 in a cab. So while it's not very expensive, like you still have to get a cab and sit on the road for 1 hour, you get it. And it might still be a cheaper option because the option of flying from Entebbe to Nairobi and then Nairobi to Diani, when you get to Diani, you still need to take a cab to your hotel. The only difference is that your hotel might now be closer. It will not be a 1 hour's drive like the way it is when you drive from Mombasa to Diani, which is about an hour. But the point here is that I strongly believe that direct flights could be cheaper if you flew from Entebbe to Mombasa. The only thing you'll miss out on is the gorgeous views overhead of Diani when you're touching down, when you're landing in Diani. Thirdly, on transport cost is availability of flights. Flights are more available if you book earlier. Again, this goes back to the first point on transport costs, whereby timing is everything. As you get closer to your travel date, those flights that are on that travel date, the closer you are to that travel date, there are many people booking them. Sometimes the slots are fewer, but also the airlines take advantage of it and intentionally increase the prices. So flight prices are affected by two things, availability and timing. The closer you are to the travel date, the more the prices will go up. But also how many people are trying to get onto that flight. So you can imagine during holidays and Christmas time, there are people who work in Uganda who are going back to their relatives in Nairobi. There are people who work in Kenya and they're coming back to Uganda. There are people who are just traveling for leisure like I was, and for vacation and rest and holidays. So there's lots of traffic at the airport, and therefore the prices are incredibly high. Like I already mentioned, the flight should have been $300, $400, cost me $592 because I booked it last minute. P for pressure is my talent. Hey, and then when I got to Nairobi, there was no availability of flights from Nairobi to Diani. There was no availability of the SGR from Nairobi to Diani. But I'm a woman of faith. I am built to thrive under pressure. So guess what I did? I got to Nairobi in the morning at around maybe 8 a.m. Got a cab to Wilson Airport without a plan. Went straight to the offices and told them I need to fly to Diani today and I didn't book a flight. What can you do for me? They told me all our flights are booked. I told them put me on the waiting list for any no-show. So they told me our next flight is at 2 p.m. I sat at the airport with my laptop and believed in my heart that God was going to make a way. It's not an evil prayer, but I did believe that God was going to make a way in case nobody showed up. And the lesson I learned from this is these guys at the airlines actually like that thing because they will make sure they keep time. 1 hour to boarding time. They'll get you, put you on there. You know why? Because they're making extra money. They're taking my money, and they're also going to make the person who comes a bit late pay that extra charge. So while they make money out of it, the lesson to learn from here is book your flights early, guys. Book your flights at least 3 weeks before your travel date. On that day, flights to Diani from Nairobi on airlines like Jumbo Jet, is it called Jumbo Jet, were costing at least $200 for a one-way ticket. And yet, in normal circumstances, $200 should be a return ticket. Again, that's another lesson that I found along the way. It's better to go directly to the flights people, to the activities, than go through brokers. Because going through brokers online, our one-way ticket is $200. When I went to the office directly myself, I got a $155 ticket during peak hour and peak season. So that's something to note. And that is it with transport costs. In terms of transport costs, we covered 3 things, which are timing is everything, direct flights are cheaper, and something about availability of flights, which ties with the timing. And the lesson is book your flights earlier. That's it. And then now in terms of accommodation, I barely found any accommodation option in Diani that was not cute. Almost all the options in Diani are cute, number 1. Number 2, they have swimming pools. Number 3, they have like good, well-done compounds. The difference in terms of quality comes down to maintenance. Some spaces have been maintained well, others have not been maintained well. And then it's always wiser to book spaces that are newly done. But also another rule of thumb, I don't want to sound racist on this, but the truth is spaces that are owned by foreigners are up to standard. Foreigners came to Africa to do business and they mean it. What you see online in their pictures is what you're going to find on ground or better. They're not doing it to just get a few bucks or whatever. They are coming for your money, so they're giving you the best. So yeah, in case you're looking for space, you might want to put that in mind. The first place I stayed at was Amani Luxury Apartments. It looked good, like you can see there is a pool, there's nice greenery. You can tell this used to be a really nice place maybe some years ago. So it wasn't a bad place. I think still it's about maintenance. I don't have much to say here. But as you can see, yeah, the compound is good. There is a pool. However, I couldn't stay there for all of 5 days because I really wanted to relax and like just rest in a beautiful, airy place. So on day 3, we moved to Maharani Apartments by Almanar. If you know the Almanar group, you know that their properties are usually chef's kiss. So we stayed at the Maharani and it was good. And it was so hard getting space here because, again, peak season, holiday season, almost every good accommodation in Diani was fully booked. Almost every accommodation in Diani was fully booked. It was such a chance to get a 1-2 bedroom because I was with a friend and family. It was such a chance to get a 1-2 bedroom in the Maharani Apartments. And even then, it was, I think God set it up that on our checkout date, there was already another family moving in with more people and booked out all the way to like Jan 5th or so. So most of the apartments were so full, accommodations were already booked out, so much that so many properties were limiting their beaches to only residents. So you find that there are certain activities you cannot do, which are popular and famous at certain beaches, because the numbers were too many that those hotels that own those beaches limited access to their beaches to only their residents. So there was a situation whereby there are certain activities you couldn't access unless you're a resident in a particular property that has access to the beach that does that activity. That's how much serious timing matters with accommodation in spaces like Diani. Like popular spaces that people go to for holidays, book your accommodation as early as you book your flights, because you could miss out on an activity just because the traffic is too much and the hotel says we're only allowing residents in here. For example, at the Swahili Beach, it's like the space that has most of the wonderful water activities that you can do at Diani safely. And Swahili Beach had closed its doors to non-residents. You had to pay extra money to access it, which we did though. But anyway, the point here is book your accommodations early. And then the other thing that I notice you have to take care from is when you're booking for accommodation in Diani online, there's no space you're going to find that has ugly pictures. Like I told you, almost every accommodation space has a private swimming pool, has these beautiful trees and colors, and the skies are just blue. So their pictures online look really good. So you might find that this space took pictures when the space was still new. And after 5-6 years, the owners haven't maintained the place well. So when you get there, what you saw online, you're seeing it there, but it's not looking as good as it was online. Again, going back to my recommendation, which I gave you, pay attention to spaces owned by foreigners. Those guys really put in an extra effort in maintaining their spaces. That's it about accommodations. And now we move on to the excursions, the most exciting part, which are the activities that you get to do. Just to give you a picture of the kind of activities you can do in Diani, of course, most of the activities at most beach areas are very water-oriented activities. So among them is things like the glass boat photo shoots. What you're seeing on the screen is an example of a glass boat photo shoot. However, I did this in Zanzibar in 2023. I didn't get a chance to do it in Diani because of the reasons I'm going to show you here that I learned from excursions in Diani, but also number two, because I'd done it before and I didn't want to spend an extra $100 on something I've done before already. However, I would have loved to see how it's done in Diani, but I'll tell you why it didn't get to happen. So things like glass boat photo shoots like you see on the screen, dog cruises, dolphin sighting. I went dolphin sighting, and then fishing, water kayaking, jet skiing, scuba diving, snorkeling, helicopter, water jump, where you go in like a sort of helicopter or something, then you jump into the water. So almost all the activities in Diani are water-based. There are some that are not water-based, but majority of them are. That's examples of activities you can do there. However, the takeaway from there is that activities are cheaper on ground. If you're working through a broker who you find online, there's so many people, because you know that they live on, they take advantage of living in a place like Diani that is full of so many beaches, and someone will set up an online business that does bookings, but that person doesn't do any of those activities. They're just a broker. So when you call that person online, when they're charging you a fee that caters for their profit, that caters for the activities that you're going to do, and he needs to also cater for the different middlemen he has to pay to help you access those activities. Because, for example, when you go to do a dog cruise, there's a guy who owns the boat. There's a guy who is the leader at that particular area, like that particular beach. There's a person they pay to a certain fee. So this broker is charging you money for all of those things, including his own profit. So it's easier to go to a country, settle into your hotel, and then get public transport and go to the place where those activities are being done and pay directly. You cut off so many costs because now you're only paying for the activity itself directly. If you're doing a cruise, you might find that now you're paying the owner of the boat directly for the cruise, and that's it. And the owner of the boat is maybe paying a small tax of like $10 or $5 to the authorities at his beach, things like that. If you go through a broker, you have understood, haven't you? Yeah, activities are cheaper directly. I've experienced this in Egypt, I've experienced this in Zanzibar, and I experienced it in Diani. Always cheaper to go directly to a fish mouth. And then, the ocean in Diani keeps time, so must you. If you don't keep time, you will not enjoy Diani. Everything works on the timing of the ocean. One of the most exciting activities, especially for female tourists, is the glass boat tour. And the glass boat tour to happen, it happens in a particular place, a particular beach, which beach is under the ocean. So what happens is that at 1 p.m., the water of the ocean separates. It separates, and then it creates a temporary beach that comes up. So that beach is available between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. That means you have to be at that particular beach. So you have to know, where are you staying? How far is it from that place? How do you need to get there? Usually it's by car or tukutuku, and then boat to that beach. So when you get there, the beach is only available between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. That's when you can do the glass boat photo shoot. After 3 p.m., you can't. Earlier than that, you can't. So timing is everything. Which activities can you do in the morning? Which ones can you do in the afternoon? Which ones can you do in the evening? Everything is timed according to the changes in the ocean. Example number 2 is we went for dolphin sighting. Dolphin sighting happens at a different island called Wasini. You have to go to Wasini. Going to Wasini from Diani is like a drive from Kampala to Jinja. It's about an hour. Yeah, it's about an hour's drive. The dolphins, when you get there, first of all, the dolphins move in families. And in Wasini, the water separates at around 9 a.m. and it creates a temporary beach. So everyone who wants to do dolphin sighting or swimming with the dolphins, you go to that beach by 9 a.m. you are there. Remember, I said it's a 1 hour's drive from Diani to this place. So if the water creates a beach at 9 a.m., it means you should have left your hotel like by 7 to give yourself 1 hour to get to a place called Shimoni, something like that, Shimoni. Then at Shimoni, you get on a boat to Wasini. That boat ride is about 40 minutes to Wasini. So that means you need 2 hours in terms of transport to the Wasini island, whatever. So the water separates and then it's only available for about 2 hours. So after 11 a.m., you see people rushing back because the ocean is covering back the land, but it created for a moment. And after that, it's very hard to spot any dolphins, let alone you can't swim with them. But if you keep time and you're there by 9, you can actually get on some snorkeling gear and go down and swim with the dolphins. So again, everything is about timing. The ocean is keeping time. You have to keep time along with the ocean. It's very key in terms of enjoying any water activities in Diani. Also, weather. Is it raining on that day? If it rains, what does that mean in terms of activities? Things like dock cruises. For example, they cannot be done on a rain day. I remember having booked a dock cruise on, was it the 29th? At Swahili Beach, and then it rained the whole day and we couldn't go because the tides are crazy, and those people, I think I've seen so many things, they will tell you, madam, this is not Lake Victoria. This is the Indian Ocean. If you mess around, the ocean will go if you, so don't even play about it. So yeah, cruises wouldn't happen if it rained. So time is a major factor. And the last part that I want to tell you about is restaurants that you can go to for your everyday meals. I find it really boring. Okay, it can be okay to eat from your hotel because the hotel has all these 7-course meals and whatever. But I find it exciting to like sneak out of the hotel and grab a coffee here and there, grab some breakfast in like the nearby community restaurant. I find it really cool. So here's a list of a few restaurants that I really liked in Diani. There's like a place called Funky Monkey. I loved Funky Monkey. It has like cute breakfast options on nice aesthetic tableware. It was just cool, like, oh, you hear the word funky, yeah, Funky Monkey. And then, of course, Java House from Uganda is available, and you can grab coffee from home while on vacay in Diani. And there's another restaurant called Kasamia that gives caramel vibes from Uganda. Yes, Kasamia. There's a place whose name I've forgotten. Might sound like La Patisserie or something like that. Also good, but I'd recommend Funky Monkey, Java House, and Kasamia. Kasamia is Italian oriented, so you're going to get a lot of that kind of Italian dining and cuisine and enjoy that. So this is my effort in trying to put 5 days of a trip to Diani into one video, and I hope I helped you pick out the most important points in case you are planning for a trip to the same location. Otherwise, Happy New Year, love you very much, and here's to more traveling in 2026. As usual, all my videos are shot at Empik Studios, so do reach out to them, and I'll be putting their contacts and social media links in the description below for you to reach out in case you want to shoot your videos this year. Make it happen. Bye.